Hey gang, welcome back. I feel like we just visited the goats, but it's always nice to visit the goats, isn't it? Some of them are still in the stall finishing up breakfast. Others, as you can see, are out and about. These guys have full access to pasture at this point in time. And, I wanted to talk just a brief bit about this operation. Some have called it a hobby. Some have belittled me a little bit, right? And said, oh, what a cute little hobby you have. Yeah, okay. A hobby. It's a lifestyle. It's a choice. It's a passion. It's a business. It's whatever you want to call it. But it is what I've got. It is my life. It is my love. And as most of you know who have followed me for a little while, it's what I firmly believe in. But that's not to say that there can't ever be improvements. There can't ever be changes. There can't ever be things that I can do better. So recently, I had a video do a little bit. It didn't go viral by any means, but it took off just a little bit. And it was funny. It was just a 5-minute video about the chicks in our grow out pen, and it created more commentary than my thin little skin was able to handle. It actually was very funny. And to be honest, I appreciated even the really nasty negative comments, and they're all still there. Right? I don't delete anything because they weren't off base. I think folks just aren't aware, right? If that's the first video you see and it's a 5-minute video and I open it up with, oh my God, it's 100,000 degrees outside and I haven't gotten around to feeding and watering anybody yet. Yeah, that sounds awful. So, thank you, algorithm gods in YouTube, for pushing that particular video to thousands and thousands of people who in turn heard those words from me, and rightfully so, sort of went nuts. I don't necessarily fault that. I think that I probably would have done the same as somebody who was watching. Perhaps, right? If that's my first impression, it's a pretty bad one. So if you're still here after that, thank you so much. These guys here, these are my small herd of goats. Everything here is what I'll call small scale. It is beyond hobby for those that have, called me cute and all the other things. But it is not a commercial operation by any standard. I have, 11 beautiful does. I had to do a head count real quick. And that is big enough for me, right? I work full time. I have certain husbandry requirements that I put on myself that require time and effort. And so I balance the size of my herd with the amount of time that I have to properly care for them. And that includes grooming them on a consistent and regular basis to maintain those long, luscious coats. It includes being able to sort of socialize them, pet them. That's why they haven't gone out into the pasture. They're here hanging with me. Lay my hands on them, know what their body condition is, know when things are right, when things are wrong. When I would get beyond that, right? So let's just say for fun, I had 20. Now I'm maybe grooming, if I groom 3 a week, I'm maybe grooming them once every 7 weeks. And that, to me, starts to become a little too far away, right? They can get sick. Their body condition can drop. And 20 goats, it sounds like not much difference. But right now, I can lay hands, touch and feel, right, every single goat in about 4 or 5 minutes. When you start to have 20, there's always going to be one that isn't around. There's always going to be one maybe that isn't looking for love. That doesn't want to be touched, right? Like Misty right now. Of course, she let me touch her, but then she was like, I'm out. Bye. She could be in heat, right? So you start to get into the habit of not necessarily laying hands on your goats every day. which is when illnesses can creep up on you. So I prefer to have a herd that I can handle, manage, touch. When I groom 3 a week, and that includes the boys now too, so I have the 3 boys over there, I'm touching them, have them up on the stand, I'm doing their hooves every 5 to 6 weeks maximum. 5 is sort of the ideal, 6 sometimes if weather doesn't cooperate. And, you know, I can keep their stalls clean. I can keep their areas relatively mess-free. Their pastures stay healthy because they're not stripping pastures down to nothing, right? All of the things. So that is a choice that I made when we started to go into this activity. And the activity for me is Livestock Conservancy. These are miniature silky fainting goats. They are also registered as heritage silky fainting goats, so they actually fit both criteria. And theoretically, they could also be registered as myotonic goats because they are fainting goats. You think that's funny, Lotus? She's the funniest face sometimes. She purses her lips. So these guys have lineage, they have heritage, they have a specific look and feel that we are looking to preserve in this breed, and the characteristics, the personalities, the sweetness, the manageability, on top of the look, on top of confirmation for health. All of those things, you know, and for me, top of the line is confirmation for health first, temperament, personality second, and then, you know, look and feel third. That's just my preference. But I've said all this before, and I will say it again, right? What I do and what I showcase, and you guys see everything. You see the good, the bad, the ugly, the in-between. There's nothing edited. I don't, you know, if the barn hasn't been swept, well, you see a barn that hasn't been swept. If it has been swept, great. You see a nice clean barn for once. There's nothing that I'm sugarcoating here, right? I share it all. And I do that so that you know that it can be done. If you choose and you want a lifestyle like this, it can be done. It can be done while you have a full-time day job. It can be done while you have to travel for work. It can be done. And that is what I do, right? But the other thing, again, I just want to be really clear about is this is what works for me, for this herd, for this property, for this state, for this environment, for this time of life. Have my practices changed over the last 12 to 15 years? Absolutely. I hope it's been an improvement each time. That is the, you know, the goal. So can there still be more improvement? Holy moly, yes. And if you have suggestions, suggest them. I listen, I read, I look, I want to hear, and I take them into serious consideration because there's always something new to learn. There's always, you know, science around animal husbandry is always changing and growing and evolving, and so should we as livestock management folks, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing is what I talk about, again, works for me, my herd, this area, this state, this environment. It may not be the best for you where you live. You have to temper that. Do I think I have some good ideas and some good advice? Yeah, I guess so, or I wouldn't be out here, right? But that doesn't mean that it's appropriate for everybody. And it certainly doesn't mean that my way is the only way or that my way is the right way and any other way is wrong. That is not the case. There are so many absolutely stunning herds out there that are 10 times the size of mine, 5 times the size of mine, that have incredible healthy animals. In fact, I have some from herds like that in my herd, in my genetics, right? So please don't disrespect the small guys, the big guys. We all are out there for the same reason. And whether you do it as a single, you know, a couple of goats for pets, or you have more of a breeding operation like I do, or you have a little bit more of a, you know, larger scale breeding operation, or you're a commercial operation, all of it has, best practices, and they don't always cross borders and apply. So keep that in mind, as you're watching these videos, as I'm talking about, vaccines and hoof trims and healthcare and all the things. I'm doing that from the perspective of what I know for this farm and my experiences. I do share them most of the time as opinions. Every once in a while, I'll tell you if I think something is a fact, but it's generally my opinion based on my goats. This is Ren. Ren likes attention, to say the least, huh? Yeah, I know. Again, we've got a lot of new folks here. So for guys that have been around a while, you may not have needed to listen to all of this. But I wanted to just give you the perspective once in a blue moon and repeat myself once in a blue moon so that you have... Where are you going, Emma? You had a little spring in your step there. You got excited about something and then went into half a faint. I don't know what she got excited about. But, again, all the animals here are given the best that I believe I can give them at this point in time. That doesn't mean it can't improve. So bring the suggestions on. Tell me what you think. I'm here for it. I'm getting some thicker skin about some of the folks that I'm not going to convince that I treat my animals correctly. But I do believe, that we as, people who care for and love our animals, we should be open to and hear both constructive criticism, feedback, other people's experiences and opinions, because that's the only way you can learn and improve. So I'm going to cut it there because I got long-winded, as always. But if you're still here, thank you for being here. And until next time, there's work to be done. Bye for now.